Welcome everyone to another episode of Slasher Scotty. I am your host Scotty McCoy, and boy do I have a surprise for all of you. I have on Zoom with me right now Michael Taylor, and he is the director of The Naughty List and the director of Alone, which had its premiere this morning at 9 a.m. here on August 6th, 2021. How you doing, Michael?
Good. How are you today?
I'm doing great. You are my first interview in my new apartment. I'm so excited to have you on as my first guest here because I've been booking things pretty much all day, and I'm now booked pretty much all of August. I have a couple, maybe a week or two left. And I mean, I'm so glad because I had to take 3 weeks off from filming and all that, but I'm glad to have you on. You're my first guest here and glad we can make this happen.
Absolutely. Happy to be here. Yeah. Cool to know that I get to honor you and honor myself by being the first interview in the new apartment. That's pretty exciting.
Absolutely. It really is a lot of setting up because a lot of stuff to unpack and everything. I'm glad I'm right next to my deck here because I don't have my ring light. I don't know where the hell I put it. So I get good light coming in from the balcony here. So it worked out perfectly with where I have the studio situated.
Very nice. Yeah, I set up a nice little light over here too. Helps out a little bit. Yeah.
It does. I love your Jason mask back there.
Oh, that's which one? This one here, or that one there?
The one up on the second shelf.
That one there. That's
Yep.
well, I guess they're both Noelle's, but yeah, I don't know where she got that one from. We'd have to ask her.
Yeah. How is Noelle doing?
Oh, she's doing great. She's doing great.
Awesome.
We're getting settled in the new house, and she's visiting back and forth right now, and so things are doing good. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So the first question I got for you. So obviously, we all know that you're an indie filmmaker. So what got you into being an indie filmmaker?
Believe it or not, okay. So first, filming is something I've kind of always wanted to do. Even as a kid, I've always watched movies and really been fascinated by the way that they film it, what goes into it, and a lot of work. You don't realize until you get into it yourself how much work really goes into it. But it was last year during lockdown, Shudder had they were offering everybody like a free 30-day subscription, to kind of help get them through. And so I subscribed to it, and not long after the movie Host came out, I put it on and I was like, all right, let's see what this is about. And I read up about it and really, really, really enjoyed Host. I got the idea probably a couple weeks after to I was like, man, they filmed this whole thing in 12 weeks. Put it together, got the idea together, and filmed it in 12 weeks, and it was a hit, huge hit. And my first thought was, all right, well, if they can do that, I can do something.
Right.
And it was at that point that it was time for me to kind of just stop messing around and really get to work. Finally make a dream come true, so to speak.
Right.
That's actually where I met Noelle, was on the Shudder Horror Fans page on Facebook. I had posted a big thing on there that I wanted to make a movie. It didn't have to be anything special, but I was just looking for some people that wanted to have fun. And that's Noelle reached out to me, and we kind of went from there.
Nice.
Yeah. And the movie that we had started working on was called In the Window. It's kind of gone around on Facebook a little while, but we still plan on making it, but now that we've got more resources and things like that, we're pushing it off, and we're going to make something a little better out of it in the future.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Now, before we get into the Naughty List and Alone, I did have a question that I just thought of that I was originally going to put on the sheet that I sent over to you, is about Indiegogo crowdfunding. So we know how the whole Once Upon a Nightmare fiasco happened. I know that I had my suspicions from the beginning because I know the guy personally. I knew him for a long time. I knew him through my good friend Marcus, and I knew about his plagiarism before, but I don't want to throw what he was currently doing obviously out there without any proof. Like, you know, you kind of want to have the idea, but then, you know, kind of you don't want to nail somebody when they might be doing something legitimate. Eventually, I got the idea. I kind of figured when the whole Christine car is going to be there, like there's no way he kind of did that. Kane Hodder, I know, doesn't allow Indiegogo. I was already in talks with his agent about getting a couple of you know, people on my show that she represents, and I mentioned about Kane Hodder, and we could promote Once Upon a Nightmare. She goes, I don't know where you got your resources from, but he's not involved with that project. So that's when I kind of like, okay, yeah, now he's up to his old tricks. So I ended up sending the information over to Carl about that I found a long time ago when I just was doing a Google on him about his plagiarism. He obviously had a YouTube shut down because he said his uncle played Freddy Krueger in this A Nightmare on Elm Street fan film, and obviously that wasn't the case neither. So I sent all that to Carl. He sent it to Amanda, and then obviously Amanda sent it to Noelle and you. And that's when you got in touch with me to kind of figure out what's going on with this. So long story short, to get to my point, because of that issue, a lot of people aren't as trusting with Indiegogo because of people like him. And it hurts legitimate filmmakers like myself and you and, you know, other people that are in the industry legitimately. So what do you have to say to those people that are not being that aren't able to trust donating to help these low budget indie films? Why should they donate, and how should they, you know, how should they be able to trust these legitimate, or how can they find out somebody is legitimate?
That's a really tough question. Yeah, especially after that whole fiasco with Once Upon a Nightmare. You know, you mentioned the Christine car. That was kind of where my suspicion started growing. I remember seeing that, and I remember sitting on my phone and I looked over at Noelle, and I said, where is he getting the money and the resources for this without a campaign having not started yet?
Right.
First of all, you know, that was a really big red flag there.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he started elaborating on all the projects that were going into this work and the amount of money that he got into the Indiegogo campaign. And, you know, and like you said, everybody that put money into it.
Yeah. And it was a big project. They made a lot of money off of it.
They made a lot of money off of it. Yeah. And we just started watching everybody's trust disappear, you know. Yeah. And so I don't blame people for having fear when it comes to an Indiegogo campaign, because people can tell you, okay, the money's going here, the money's going there, the money's going to be used for this. But until that movie gets made, you really don't know. And and I can see how after something like that, it's really hard to trust and put money into something. Yeah. All I can say, as even a new filmmaker myself, is if you don't put money into a current campaign, wait for that project to get made. And if you see that that project was a successful project, the person was honest, you know, they were open about what they were doing with the money, and you can see the fruits of everybody's income that was going into these projects, maybe think about donating to the next one.
Right.
Okay. By that same individual, you know, Joe Schmo made this great movie off the money, off of donations for the Indiegogo campaign that you didn't donate to, but you see that it's successful. Maybe put some money towards the next one. Absolutely. Have a little thing, you know.
Absolutely. And another thing, like research, like if you don't know if this person is reliable, but you really believe in the project, like a lot of people believed in Once Upon a Nightmare, reach out to somebody. Noelle, you, myself, Amanda, you know, Carl, like reach out to somebody. And if they don't know, they can put you in the right direction on how you can find out, or how you can kind of, you know, lead you in the right direction of doing research. Have they done previous projects before? If they haven't, what makes them reliable? Do these people know them personally? Like that person won't rip somebody off. If the project doesn't get made, they will refund you. Matt Anderson is a very good example of that. I donated $100 to Phobias, and it didn't get made, but he reached out to me and told me it's not getting made right now. And he gave me, you know, he refunded the money back, because that is what a legitimate, honest filmmaker will do in those cases.
Yeah, you want the person that you're interacting with to be credible, you know. Absolutely. And if you know they're doing things like that, refunding money or It's even a different case. Let's say you put a perk in, pay for a perk or something, and the actor, in my case,
Yeah,
having to drop out of 72,
yeah,
still have perks to fulfill. I'm
yeah,
willing to do that. Some
yeah,
people might not be willing to fulfill those perks. I know I paid for a couple of perks for a project where an actor left, and I was refunded my money.
yeah,
That was nice. So it
right,
gives a little credibility to the individual.
right,
Um, it's a matter of
yeah.
trust, especially when it's somebody you don't know.
Right, because I know when you were talking about moving and dropping out of 72, my first, I let Carl deal with the whole recasting type of thing. My issue was I wanted to make sure the people that donated to get a shout out from you got their shout out. Because
Right.
our campaign, we already got our money from our campaign. We spent our money from our campaign. So it's going to kind of be hard to, refund that money when, it's already been used.
Absolutely.
So obviously I would have given a separate shout out if I had to, like a different, perk if I had to, but um, I reached out to you and said, hey, I know you're not in the project anymore, but can you please do these shout outs for me? And you were nice enough to do it. Now, some people may have been like, well, I'm not in it anymore. I don't want to do that. And if that's the case, then I would have to come to plan B and, either find a way to, make them happy and fulfill that perk, because I'm an honest filmmaker. I don't want to stiff those people from what they donated,
Right.
and I know when we were talking about that before, when you were first talking about moving, but you didn't like know it was going to be so soon. Like you even told me, like Noelle was really, really like impressed that I was concerned about those with Indiegogo, especially after people that aren't, the type of there aren't honest people out there that don't care. Like they're like, well, they're not going to get the perk then. Like I don't like when people are that like they take advantage of the situation, and it's good that we have, like, like you said, honest filmmakers like Matt Anderson and all that. So for those that aren't aware of it, reach out to them and do the research, because there are people out there willing to take advantage, because that's the thing about Indiegogo. You donate your money, it is all a risk.
It is. It's a risk every time. It
Yeah,
is. You just got to find the right people,
yeah,
to trust.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In the situation with what was his name, Michael
I think it was Michael Dark One.
Dark One. Yeah,
Yeah,
that will eventually all blow over.
yeah,
It'll be a thing that
yeah,
people in the indie industry will tell stories about, but will widely
yeah,
be forgotten once that trust is back.
yes. And they always say it's easy to lose trust, it's hard to get it back. And when one bad egg, it ruins it for a whole bunch of people.
It does.
So that's why, like, I forgot to put it on the sheet, and I had to ask you about it, because I remember me and you, like, you even have screenshots of our conversation on your Facebook, so people were made aware of what I found out, and what was going on. And I'm glad that you did that, because and I think you even asked my permission, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it's been a while, but I mean, I'm glad that we were able to get that out there, because my real first red flag was he asked me to be in the movie. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll be in it. He said I could film it in Maryland, I could film it, in Pennsylvania, because I also commute, and that I could film it in my area. And then I'm added to the group, and next thing you know, next week I got to fly out to California for a photo shoot. I'm like, I thought you said I could film in Pennsylvania or Maryland.
That's it's inconsistent.
Yeah,
It's not reliable.
yeah,
So you need to be reliable.
exactly.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I stand on that. So
Absolutely, and it's really good advice. And for anybody watching this that are invested in indie films and would like to help donate, obviously, to the Naughty List when an Indiegogo, if there will be one, does come out for that, like, know that Michael Taylor is, for me personally, I'll tell you, Michael Taylor is a legitimate filmmaker. So what you see is what you get. You're going to get a movie out of it. And if you don't, I'm sure he will, refund anything that you have to do or accommodate you the way you can.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
no intention of
Yeah.
hurting people.
Right. Especially with being the boyfriend of Noelle Berger. I think she'll kick your
Mhm.
ass.
Yeah, she'll hurt me. Yeah. She is
So,
she's honest to a fault. So that's a
yes.
good quality to have.
Absolutely. And I had her on my show. She's an amazing lady. I met her one time, I believe it was, at the Creature Feature down by York, Harrisburg, Carlisle area. and
Okay.
she's a very, very amazing lady, and we hit it off immediately. Like, she's like, "Oh my God, you're so adorable in person." So
And she's a good one. She is.
yeah.
I'm proud to be with her. Proud
And
to
I'm glad
have her
you
on my
both are
side.
with each other. You both deserve happiness, and you are such a cute couple. I think I love you both together. So you guys are great. So for those wondering about the naughty list, what is this going to be about? Can you provide us some details
Ooh,
on what to expect from this movie?
I can. Yeah. Honestly, it's pretty simple without even giving spoilers away. It's a typical slasher, man. You know,
Nice.
it's going to take place during Christmas time, so there'll be
Okay.
snow, Christmas decorations, all kinds of stuff like
Nice.
that. And of course, really low budget, you know, but
Yep.
we're doing it to have a good time. We're not
Right.
doing it to make a big buck off of it or anything
Right.
like that. We just want to get a group of people together, get some special effects and set up some cool kills and
Yeah.
have a blast. But yeah, Christmas time, man. So there'll, you know, like
Nice.
I said, there'll be the snow and the decorations, and
Yeah.
probably try to have some Christmas food out on display. And
Nice.
you
Well,
know,
just
yeah,
because it is a low budget, it does not mean it's not going to be a good movie. Because look
absolutely
at Halloween as a prime example, and so is Friday the 13th. You
agreed.
know, the
Yes,
naughty list can become this big, this big blockbuster for all we know. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. What only takes one movie.
that's it. Yeah, it does. It
That's it.
takes one movie, and it's going to be a short. You know, it's
Okay.
I'm aiming for a 40-minute runtime.
Okay.
I want to do a minimum of 40 minutes.
Yeah.
If we end up stretching it, I don't want to go any longer than an hour. So 60
Yeah.
minutes max. Try to
Yeah.
keep it there. It's for something like this, especially for a first time big thing
Yeah.
that I've done myself.
Mhm.
Everybody else has more experience in this industry that's going to be here in this than I do. So I'm going to,
Yeah.
kind of listen to them and
Right.
hear
Think
in
we
the
lost
script.
them.
So
Oh, there you are.
it's going to be
You froze for a
It's going to
second,
be a
but yeah.
blast.
Yeah, and thing is, like, Debbie
Hmm.
Voorhees, Debbie Sue Voorhees, she everybody knows her from Friday the 13th Part 5 is Tina. She's she has
Yeah.
13 Fanboy coming out. So she gave me really good advice for people like you, and this is when I was first starting out, like, always start out with a short film, because short films are short, they're lower budget, you don't need a big budget for them, and if you make a mistake, it's okay, you learn from it.
Absolutely.
It's not as much
Yes.
stress and pressure.
Right. That was one of the big things. 'Cause originally when I started writing this, I was really excited and I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God, man, I'm going to make this big feature Christmas slasher. And then a couple weeks later, I'm like, I might be in over my head on this.
Right?
So,
The next Silent Night, Deadly Night, right?
shorten it up a little bit, make it fun.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So I'm guessing that's where all those pictures were coming from, with the Christmas lights and that. Setting up, getting the mood set for maybe the script.
Yes, yeah, I was doing some light testing up in the, believe it or not, the second story of my garage.
Nice.
Yeah, I had taking some pictures, trying to get lighting up, and I kind of settled on not really settled, but I was pretty happy with the lighting and stuff that I had set up. So we're gonna use that for the rest of the movie, which will actually all be shot in this house.
Nice.
Yes, we're going to shoot the whole thing in this house. We'll have a scene of a car driving down the road with a couple people talking. But other than that, it'll all be shot in the house. So
It's awesome. It's
gonna
awesome.
be
Well, definitely best of luck on that. We will talk more about the naughty list in a little bit, but we also know you have another short that isn't, in pre-production, so to speak. It's now released. We have Alone, and it premiered this morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. So can you tell us about what this short is about, and where can the listening and viewing audience watch it?
So first off, you can watch it. There's a link on my Facebook page. It'll take you straight to the YouTube. The video file was too large. I didn't have time to, I guess I did have time to compress it, but I didn't want to compress it any further than it already was. So it was too big to display directly on Facebook. So yeah, you can go to my YouTube channel, Mike Taylor. I will post a link for it after the thing, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So
Yeah.
You can watch it there,
I
and
just subscribed to you too. I thought it was sub to you, but I'm not. So I just subbed to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
What it is, believe it or not, um, you just take 8 minutes out of Paranormal Activity, give it a spin-off,
Nice.
and condense it into 8 minutes of build up and a couple minutes of terror, and it was a lot of fun. It was fun to make.
Awesome.
So I'm proud of it.
That's awesome. I watched it right. I think it was like literally like we had 8 minutes before the interview, and it's about roughly an 8.5 minute or so short. So I literally had just the nick of time to watch it, and I watched it, and it was very good. So I recommend everybody to go and check out Alone on YouTube, because it is very well made. The camera angles are amazing. I'm thinking, okay, so she's it's not really a major spoiler alert, but just a camera angle situation. When Amanda, one of my good friends, she poured the glass of wine, and I'm thinking, okay, that's pretty cool. And then the camera angle went right into the glass, and you see the wine going into the glass.
Yeah.
It's just the camera angles is really well done.
So it was really cool. I told her I wanted to film a shot of her pouring the wine, and and it was real wine. And so every time we would pour the wine, I was like, drink that. I was like, we'll start over.
You probably got her drunk before you got them to take.
So she went through like 3 glasses of wine. Finally, I had my camera, and I had a macro lens on it. And so what I did was I got as close to the wine glass as possible, giving me the best display that I could get for it. And when she poured the wine, I was like, that is fucking beautiful.
Great.
Oh man. So when I was putting it all together, I decided to slow that shot down. And you can't really tell that it's slowed down. But yeah, I wanted to slow it down so you just really see the wine coming through and the glass filling up and all the bubbles, stuff like that. Yeah, it was
awesome. And a lot of people don't realize though that that with filmmaking, it isn't all just about like the plot and the acting. Like the camera angles alone really do set the mood of a movie. It really makes a movie worth investing into and watching, because like you want to see that, and it's the creativity alone. Like, oh my god, that shot was a beautiful shot.
I was very proud of that shot. Yeah, every shot counts. It all matters. And so it'd be one thing when she pours the wine glass, I could have stood at a distance and I could have got her and the wine bottle and the wine glass and poured it all, but I wanted to, that wine was important, it was an important part to the end of the work day, so to speak. This girl needs a glass of wine, let's make sure people see that. So
exactly. And a lot of people don't realize that might seem like a small detail to a lot of people, but when the first shot you see her coming up those steps, long work day, like you said, I want to get a glass of wine and take a bath. What were the focus of those shots? The wine going in the glass and her going into the bath.
Yep, that's that's why, like when I was doing the bathtub shots, I made it a point to show as many angles as I could of the bathtub. The water running over the top. I mean, all kinds of stuff. It was. You wouldn't think that 8.5 minutes is a lot of work,
right?
But it's a lot of work.
It really is. It really is. It really is. Like a lot of that 8.5 minutes. Is probably the footage that you probably went through that is at least a couple hours of footage just for an 8.5 minute video.
It took us on average combined to get everything we got. I think it was about 20 hours of shooting total.
Exactly. So you have all of that to go through, and after you get rid of the bloopers and the cuts you don't want, and then you get down to maybe I'd say maybe an hour or so, and then you have to trim and trim and trim and trim and trim, and by the time you get through all that, it gets down to that 8.5 minute mark. And it really it might not seem like a lot of work, but if you don't know editing, something that you have to know. That I love to edit. I love to edit, but it's probably because it's fun seeing the movie magic come into fruition. but I don't have the patience a lot for that too. So like I do it because it has to be done,
Got to
but
be done,
it gets
right?
very frustrating.
Well, believe it or not, that 8.5 minutes, there was a rough cut that I put together when I first started putting all this together. That's actually about 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
I probably won't ever release it to the public. It's in such an unfinished state, but
Right.
I think I showed it to Amanda, and her and I both agreed that's too long, you
Yeah.
know. So we condensed it down a little more, cut some more stuff out, and then we had it to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And even then, I had showed it to a couple of people, and they were like, well, this might seem a little bit too long. What if you trim that a little bit? And you know, and then certain scenes were too dark. And so I had people giving me advice on where to lighten up a few things. And so, yeah, after all the cuts and all the coloring and all the sound effects and stuff, yeah, we got it to about 8 minutes, and then, you know, with the credits and everything, about 8.5 minutes. So yeah,
Nice.
there's a 15-minute rough cut out there on my laptop. So yeah.
And you can agree with me on this. There's a saying in the film industry that less is more.
I was going to say sometimes less is more, and this,
Yep.
in my opinion, I
Is a
mean,
prime example of that.
prime example. I was going to say I'm a little biased because I directed it, I made this, but yeah, it is less
Yeah.
is more, you know.
Yeah,
So,
and hey, it might have been, you know, only an 8-minute video, but it was well done. Like the suspense alone was amazing. Like I honestly didn't expect the paranormal part of it. I expected the whole like somebody's broke in type of thing. Like I expected somebody's in there, but I'm thinking, well, they didn't credit anybody else in the movie, but was that done on purpose to trick me? Like maybe for a jump scare or something? You don't
right,
know. So that's kind of where I was going with it. Like somebody, like she's alone, so she's by herself. So this person is coming to maybe attack her and kill her or something. That's kind of where I was going with it. I like where you went with it. It
thank you,
totally.
thank
Most
you.
people are probably going to think of the burglary part. I
Right,
thought that's the way I went, and I'm glad you went the way you did because it took me, you know, completely in a different direction.
right. I
Yes.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not a problem. So, what was the hardest part about filming alone? And let me take a guess on that. Is it working with Amanda? I love
Actually,
Amanda. I love Amanda. So I was only joking, but I love Amanda.
believe it or not, Amanda actually made making this thing very easy. Aside from the challenges and stuff, but she made it very comfortable. It's funny how I came to her with this. I told her, I was like, hey, you're local, you know, to me.
Yeah.
You're like a 15-minute drive from me. I want to make something with you. I said, we're going to film a short. She goes, what's it about? I said, I don't know. I just need you to trust me. And so we didn't write this. There's no script for it. You know, I went over to her finally one evening. She's like, hey, I'm free. I was like, oh, yes, I'm free. I was like, let me get all my equipment together. I'll head over. So we spent probably about 40 minutes talking about what we wanted to do. And even then, that first night, we still had no idea how we wanted to end this thing. We had no idea what direction we wanted to take it. So I said, let's just start shooting and see how we feel. I'll give you some direction as a director, and we'll see where it goes. So it was the bathtub scene. The bathtub scene was actually the very first thing we filmed. So I said, all right, horror movie, typical horror movie trope, you know,
Yeah.
girl gets into a tub, things
Right.
kind of go from there.
So there was no script for this?
There was no script for this at all. You can ask Amanda. There's nothing. We have nothing written down. So yeah, I would say the biggest challenge for this, man, you know what? A lot of the shots are pretty simplified shots from the angles and stuff. I think the biggest challenge was the mirror shot when she's in the bathroom. She gets in front of the mirror. I was like, how do I get this with having you in front of the mirror? I need to see you and you. I need to see you in the mirror and you behind, you know, behind the mirror. I was like, how do we do that without getting the camera in the shot, first of all, and making it seem like you're right in front of the mirror? So this was actually the angle we did on this was pretty wild. I got inside her bathtub and I moved the bathtub curtains over and everything.
Nice.
And I'm like perched up in the corner over here like this and like have no room to move. And it was weird because I was like, all right, I got the mirror. I said, so let's have a test and have you kind of walk in here. And I think we did this like 3 or 4 times. And as she would do it, I was like, okay, I can see you, but it's not the shot that I want. It's not really that great. I was not happy with it. So finally I told her, I was like, all right, I'm going to sit here in this corner, just like this. I said, I want you to walk in, but I want you to walk maybe a few inches past the center of the mirror. Okay. And so that's what she did. And so she's actually, so here's the mirror and she's actually over here a little bit. So we get her in the mirror, but it actually looks like she's standing right in front of the sink. Yeah. I think that was probably the hardest part. It probably took us about 40 minutes to really get that down. Yeah. But it was great. So after we got that final shot and we looked at it and we're like, that's the one. That was perfect.
I had the heebie-jeebies when that mirror was closed, and I'm like, I guarantee you something's going to be freaking behind her. I know something's going to be behind her.
We tossed around that idea, trying to figure out if we could put something back there. Put something there. I was like, come on, we got to think of something. And we actually just ended up deciding, let's subvert the expectation there.
Yeah. So that's what gets you the most. Sometimes not having a jump scare gets people the most because they're waiting for it to be there. Oh my God, I'm on the edge of my seat. It's going to happen. And then nothing. And then
it's just this big, overwhelming,
it's
just a sigh of relief. So
yep, exactly. Sometimes it's better to leave people knowing it's going to happen, and it never happens at all. Never does. That's the beautiful part of suspense right there. Because when you do get them later, that's what gets them. Because there's a lot of fake outs. They're like, well, this is going to be another fake out. They're not getting me this time. And now you got them.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Exactly. So, obviously we spoke a little bit about Noelle. Obviously I mentioned she was on my show and she's great. So I know you guys are working on a couple of projects together. So are you able to discuss what they are? Like, what are the projects, the names, what are they about, kind of anything like that?
So I've got a few projects I'm working on. Unfortunately, I have decided to push those back. I want to throw my focus onto the naughty list.
Okay.
After that, I think I can bring this up because she's posted about it on Facebook before in comments and stuff. But she's got a project.
I think the one you're talking about is the one I giggle at all the time.
Is Hormones?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Hormones.
Yeah.
She was telling me about that, and I'm like, I need to know what this is.
So I'm not going to go into too much about what it's about.
Okay.
Actually, I'm not going to go into about that at all. I'll let her another time, talk about it when she's ready. This is her baby. But that one is going to be a wild ride. So I think after we do the naughty list, her and I are going to talk. We'll either get back to In the Window or focus on Hormones. I personally think Hormones would be the better choice. It'd be more fun.
The title alone draws people in. Just like curiosity.
One day, back when I was still working mostly on In the Window before I had to, some things came up, but we were all in the group chat talking about In the Window, and I'm off doing my own thing and I'm getting notifications between everybody talking in the group chat. And I opened the group chat and the only message I saw before scrolling up was her message. And she starts talking about this movie and the premise. And I was like, what? And I finally get down to the bottom and she goes, it's called Hormones. And I lost it. I was like, there's no way that's what this is going to be called. And it is. And her and we've discussed it a little bit. We've talked about different things that can happen in the movie. And all I can say is once that one goes into production, people, you need to be ready for it because it's going to be crazy.
I can't wait. I really can't wait. That one, like I said, the name alone just draws people in. Like once she told me the name about it, I thought she was joking. I thought she was kidding around. I didn't. I thought she was just being, her goofy self. And she's like, "I'm serious." I'm like, "What?" Like me and
Yeah,
Amanda were looking at each other like, "What?"
I believe I asked her, "Are you serious?" in that group chat, and she goes, "Absolutely." I was like, "All
I'll
right."
tell you, I wanted to have Noelle on my show again. I was thinking I'll talk to her about it because I don't know how much she can give away about it, but I really want to get into that movie because that movie is going to be a hit. I mean, like
It's going to be a
movies that
lot
are
of
so dumb that they're great, or they're so silly that they're great, or they're so funny that they're great just by the name alone. And like, for example, like Killer Sofa, and like, Zombie Tidal Wave, those things become hits because they
right.
have that premise that people love, those type of
And,
movies.
and they get that following, they get
Yes.
that cult status that
Yep.
people want to, everybody's got to know about it, good or
Yep.
bad. It's,
Yep.
we got to see it. So this one
Absolutely.
it's going to be so bad. It's great.
And I love those, and we'll get into another one of those movies very shortly. But I wanted to say that I want to have Noelle on. I want to talk about that. I really hope she'll be able to talk about it sooner than later because I know 13 Fanboy has got a release date, and Noelle is in that, and I would like to have her on probably in early to mid October. I'd like to have her on because I know 13 Fanboy is coming out on October 22nd. I would really like to get a lot of the cast and crew from that movie on my show to promote 13 Fanboy.
Okay.
Because that's obviously, I mean, I interviewed Debbie Subor, he's about it already. And I interviewed Haley Greenbauer from it. So I definitely want to have her on to discuss that. So I'll reach out to her then, and I would like to see if she could also discuss hormones with me. That would be great.
Okay.
That'd
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So speaking of movies that are so bad they're good, Heavy Duty Man. Wait. Heavy Duty Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So obviously we're both in it. You got to beat me up, and they posted that caption: when an actor forgets his lines. Obviously, I didn't forget my lines, but actor forgets his lines. This is what happens to you. You get your ass
Yeah,
beat.
that was the joke of the day for sure. It was
It,
funny.
it was. It
I
was a
felt so
great movie.
I felt bad. I was like, I don't want to be down here beating this guy up, man.
I got so pummeled in that movie. It was not
Oh,
really a
good.
movie. It was the concept trailer, but yeah.
Yeah. I remember Matt was like, he was like, just do whatever. He was like, cuss, you call him names. And I'm like, I can't.
Oh my god, I got hurt so much. I'm injury prone. Amanda, anybody can tell you on set I'm injury prone. All the time I get hurt some way, shape, or form. And
Right.
somebody kicked me really hard right in my elbow, and I got like brute cuts on the air. And what was the other thing that happened to me? They had to ride the bike into me or something, and I made this like really like orgasmic yelp. And
Oh my God. That was funny. That was funny. And you killed everybody with that. We did not, I don't think anybody expected that yelp that came out of your mouth.
oh yep, so that was interesting. And yeah, I always get hurt some way, shape, or form. And I think there was something else that might have happened in another scene that I got beat up some way or whatever. But it's a good concept trailer. I don't think the concept trailer was released yet, so I don't really want to go into spoiler territory
I
too
don't want to
much
talk about
on
it too
that.
much, but
Yeah,
yeah.
because I don't know what they want out there outside of what was posted picture wise. But
Right.
I will let everybody know that the concept trailer is going to be released with our Indiegogo campaign, because that was announced. When the Indiegogo campaign goes, if we meet our funds, the concept trailer will be turned into a full feature film. And obviously, I will be returning. You will be returning as well. So we will be back for Heavy Duty Man. And I would like to have on Slasher Scotty the entire cast of Heavy Duty Man as well. As a group
Yeah.
chat. That would be so much fun. I did that with Phobias, so I think that would be fun doing a group chat with everybody from Heavy Duty Man. But regardless of that, so what was it like working on the concept trailer? Like, what did you expect? Like, what do you expect out of going to film the movie when funds are met? And was this movie what you kind of expected going into filming the concept trailer?
Okay, so I'll be completely honest. I went into Heavy Duty Man totally blind. I had never met Matt Anderson outside of the group chat. I did not know what to expect when we got there, and I'm very pleased with what we got. I'm not really I'm not an actor kind of person. Noelle would disagree, but you know, I like to see myself behind the scenes and doing stuff like that. But to be able to work with Matt, he seems like he's a very professional kind of guy. He likes to have fun, you know, and in my opinion, he knows what he's doing. So good or, you know, I mean, Heavy Duty Man, it's going to be bad, but that's the point.
Yeah,
it's going
that's
to
the
be so
point.
bad.
It's meant to be bad.
Right. It's going to be so bad. It's going to be awesome. That's how. And honestly, all I really expect is to go out there and help him make the best bad, funny movie we can. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. And like you said that you're not an actor. I mean, in your defense, like you outbeat a lot of people for rich. Like, you know, you were going to be rich in 72.
I'm so disappointed I couldn't be there for that.
I know.
Really
And obviously the move got in the way, which is we understand that. Like, you know, we obviously had a backup plan just in case, because we knew ahead of time you were going to move. So we are able to fill the role. But we do miss you on set, and that we wish you were on set and everything. But like Noelle, I mentioned to you, hey, we're looking for skinny people for Heavy Duty Man. Do you want to be in it? You're like, it's funny you mentioned that. Noelle was just saying the same thing.
Yes. Yeah. She had brought it up to me, and I'm like, I don't know anything about it. I probably am not gonna ask to be in this. I'm not an actor, like I said. And then you finally just reached out to me, and I was like,
it's fate.
Why not? I'll do it. They need somebody, I'll fill in. So right. I went in there totally blind to what was happening. And it was the first time I got to meet you in person. Got to meet Max in person. Max is an awesome guy.
I have him on the show Wednesday, I believe. So definitely stay tuned for that one. Max is a great guy.
Max is awesome. He's a wonderful guy. So pleasure to work with him. So we'll be seeing him again soon too. So but yeah, Heavy Duty Man, it's gonna be great. I can't wait to start filming that and be a part of it.
So for those that are watching this, I don't know when the Indiegogo is going to be coming out. You can follow any of my Facebook fan pages or add me on Facebook. Obviously follow Cinephoto, I believe it's pronounced CINEPHOTO. I think that's how it's pronounced. Cinephoto, Sign Photo, something like that. Sorry if I'm butchering the name, but definitely reach out, follow their fan page on Facebook, and they'll tell you when the Indiegogo is up, because we want to film this movie, and we know everybody wants a bad that is good movie out there, because it is really bad that is good. So donate if you can. They are reliable, and they will not make the movie if funds are not met. So make sure you donate so we can meet the funds for the movie, so we can make this movie. It'll be so much fun. So back to the naughty list. We're all over the place today. What do you think the biggest challenge is going to be getting that film made?
Scheduling, honestly. Getting the people out here that I need. That's going to take some work, but we'll be able to get it done. You know, as far as challenges, filming wise, you know, actually filming, I'm going to have a lot of people here that will be here not only to support themselves to be in a movie, but they're there to support me too. And I know that as much as I will help them in any way that I can, they will help me in any way that they can too. Absolutely. So the biggest challenge as far as filming, I think, will probably be getting all the blood that I want. I want a lot of that. I mean, I want blood sprays, obnoxious blood sprays. I want it to look so unrealistic when the blood hits, you know. You can never have too much blood in a slasher. So
and that's the thing, when people go to see a slasher movie, like, everybody loves Jason, but they don't go there for Jason. They go there for the kills. Let's be real.
They go there just to get killed.
They want to see people get killed.
They want to see who lives and who dies.
And how do they die?
And how they die. That's the point of a slasher film. I mean, the character can be memorable. You know, Freddy, Michael, Jason, Chucky, even. You know, all those characters, they're memorable, but the movie's not about them.
Right, and we always want to see, like, the creative deaths. Like, we see Chucky had so many creative deaths as a killer doll. What do you think he's gonna do? Just stab you? He beats you in the face with a toy hammer and you fall out a window, or he beats you to death with a yardstick. You know what I mean? Like, there was clever deaths. Like Jason Voorhees is the master of creative kills. You know what I mean? That's where for Samhain I had that inspiration of creative kills was from Friday the 13th. I like seeing people die creative ways.
There you go.
Wow, that sounds very morbid, but it's the truth.
it's morbid, but you want to see it in a movie, not in real life.
Exactly, not in real life.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the creative kills are fun. I mean, again, back to Chucky, the bride of Chucky. Tiffany was killed in the bathtub and immortalized into a doll.
Yeah. How creative is that, right?
That's
And
pretty
oh
creative.
my God, that marathon was on, was it a couple days ago? It was like National Doll Day or something like that or whatever. And they had the Chucky marathon on. I saw it was on, I flipped on, it was Bride of Chucky. And it was the part that always gets me going, like makes me laugh. And it's when Tiff goes, "You're the last person on earth I want to be with." He goes, "Have you look at yourself? You're a doll, Tiff. It's a little
Right.
too late to be picky."
Yep. Yep.
And he's literally right. Like, I mean, you don't have many choices. I don't think many people are going to be with a doll.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, we definitely are there for the kills. So I'm excited to see the naughty list. I would obviously love to be in it, but I mean, you're going to be filming in Ohio now. I wish you were still in the Pennsylvania area. That would have been perfect.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do wish you the best of luck for that. I definitely will be a buyer, obviously, supporter of that movie. I'll be sharing the shit out of it, obviously, for you guys. No problem. So we have two more questions. One is we know you were a part of Massacre Academy. You were in that movie. I saw the movie. I wasn't at the premiere, but I saw the movie. Mark gave me a sneak peek. Nice. Yes, Mark gave me gave me the link to it because he wanted my opinions on it and everything like that. Just kind of like a screener, and I watched it, and it was amazing. And I'm not gonna really spoil anything, but your blank 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 scene, it was freaking awesome. It was awesome. Last weekend, it was the premiere, the big premiere for Massacre Academy. Obviously, there's other premieres in the works, but what was the premiere like? Do you have any stories from that night that you would like to share?
Oh my God, man. It's that premiere, and I think I used this term earlier, but that premiere was also just a lifelong dream come true to be at a red carpet event, and of course, not being one of the main cast members, but it was still there to witness it, be part of such a spectacle. That I personally, and I'm sure many of the others that were there, will remember for the rest of our lives, And Mark can too. Is him and his wife, they're such amazing people. And they helped set up this event for everybody to attend. And I don't really have any specific stories, but just being around everybody there was like a magical experience, so to speak. It was if I could go back and relive it, I mean, I would do it again. It was great being able to see the people that were the main cast signing autographs, signing Blu-rays and such, and doing the Q&A after the movie. And I mean, it was awesome. It was wonderful.
And the thing is, you and Noelle both in the movie, and you both got to share the red carpet experience and premiere together. Like that's amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It was almost like that power couple status,
exactly,
what I mean?
Right?
Yeah.
Watch out! Oh, I don't even think they're together anymore. But watch out, Brad and Angelina.
Yeah. It
was Michael and Noelle coming to take your spot.
Yeah, that was pretty excellent. That's awesome. Sticking to the whole thing about Massacre Academy, when I came up in Pittsburgh, DJ and Noelle, they wanted me to just come up there. I had actually no intention of being in a movie. DJ Patton, he told me, he said, if you come up here, he goes, tomorrow, he goes, I will pay for your flight. And I was like, I don't know, man. Everything I have is here in Florida. My kids are here and all that. And I ended up doing it. I went, and we all got in Noelle's car, and we drove out to where the scene that we were filming was going to be. Again, having no intention of being in the movie. Noelle just asked Mark, hey, can he stick around and hang out during the filming? And he was like, yeah, no problem. So everybody gathers up, and they're all getting ready to shoot. And he's like, all right, DJ, I want you here. Amanda, you're going to be here. And he goes, Michael, I want you back there. I'm like, I'm going to be in this? Like, I didn't know I was going to be in this movie. Excuse me. And I was like, I don't have the proper attire. It's like, I have this beard and my hair is a mess. And he's like, no big deal, just hang back. He goes, just stand up when we need you to stand up, and
Nice.
basically do what I tell you to do. And I was like, okay, yeah. And then he kind of put me front and center there for a second. So
Nice.
that was cool. Mark, he will probably deny this. He may be too humble, and that's fine. But Mark opens doors for people, whether or not he realizes it.
Yeah.
Where I'm at right now, and I'm not far, I just produced my first short, but I'm getting ready to make an actual movie, but I owe a lot of that to him, and I owe a lot of that to Noelle and DJ. Without them and without Mark's support and without Noelle's support, I mean, it just wouldn't happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Me and Mark, we got a real close friendship. All it started with was a simple Instagram message. I heard about Massacre Academy. Do you want to come on my show? And from there, we became really close friends. And like, we talk not every day, but we talk a lot, and we became really good friends. And he's a really cool guy. I've never met DJ yet. I will be meeting him on the 21st. I can't wait to meet him. He'll be coming on set for 72, so I can't wait to meet him. He seems like a really nice guy, and Amanda has a lot of nice things to say about him. I don't think I've ever heard anything negative about him. So
DJ doesn't have a bad bone in his body. He's a wonderful guy. And I'll tell you this, I know firsthand, he will always have your back,
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
he's a good guy.
It's awesome. It's awesome. So last question I got for you. Do you have any other projects in the works, or any social media accounts or websites that you would like to promote to the listening and the viewing audience?
And talk about all the other projects. I've got several that I've been writing, but like I said earlier, I've kind of put all of those on the back burner for now. I really want to put all my focus into the naughty list.
Yeah.
As far as social media, you can Facebook and my YouTube channel. I use Twitter, but I don't use it often enough. I don't even have the app on my phone anymore. So I couldn't tell you my Twitter handle or anything like that. Yeah. I just mainly I lurk on Twitter. So but yeah, that's about it really. So
awesome. Well, thank you, Michael, for joining me.
Oh, my pleasure. It was
Awesome.
a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Scotty.
Not a problem. I'm so glad to have you on. I'm glad we can make this happen. I know I was going to have you on eventually as part of 72, but obviously when you dropped out, I'm like, well, I don't have to wait until 72 gets closer to release or premiere or whatever. So why not bring him on early, and we could talk about some other stuff? And it worked perfectly because Alone came out today.
That was good.
And I thought to myself, I'm like, I want to have Michael Taylor on. I was working on all my interviews, and I'm thinking to myself, well, wait a minute. Tomorrow's Friday, because this is now Thursday, the 5th I was doing this. I'm thinking, tomorrow's Friday, it's the 6th. What does that date so familiar? Why does Michael Taylor, why is his, aura, around it? I'm thinking, wait, isn't the Alone coming out that morning? And I'm thinking, that's perfect. If I can get him on. I didn't know when it came out. So you told me it came on at 9, but you still will be able to show up. And I'm like, that's great. Because not everybody's going to watch it at 9. People are at work, all that stuff. So why don't we get you on, get it uploaded by the afternoon, and we end up promoting the crap out of this, and we get people to watch it.
Nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
I'm glad that we can make this happen. I thank you for joining me, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. Look forward to coming back eventually.
Absolutely. You have a great rest of your day.
You too, Scotty. Thanks.
Yep. Bye.